Jerry Jones, you paid Tony Romo with no problem. You paid Jason Witten with no problem. You paid Troy Aikman with no problem. But when it comes to quarterbacks who maybe, or not quarterbacks, let's say players, other players who maybe have a different color of skin, or maybe, you just like the, just, you know, ruffle their feathers a little bit and don't want to give them their money right away, like Dak Prescott, like Zeke Elliott once upon a time, like Emmitt Smith once upon a time.
Hey, we live now, really.
We got to talk about Jerry Jones because that boy is a bad boy. And we got to talk about Micah Parsons because what is going to happen? Oh, my goodness. Okay. So giving you a little background if you don't know what's going on. Essentially, Micah Parsons is on a Hall of Fame trajectory. Micah Parsons is that guy. He's definitely by far the best defensive player on the Dallas Cowboys. And without Micah Parsons, the Dallas Cowboys defense is garbage. Is but trash. like I'm just being honest with you. If the Dallas Cowboys do not sign Micah Parsons, you might as well write their season off. Now, don't get me wrong. Dak Prescott, CD Lamb, that boy George Pickens, oh, they gonna do their thing on offense, but you're still gonna need a defense. You feel me? So Jerry Jones, you are pulling a hell of a publicity stunt right now, but Micah Parsons does not appreciate that. Jerry Jones, you paid Tony Romo with no problem. You paid Jason Witten with no problem. You paid Troy Aikman with no problem. But when it comes to quarterbacks who maybe, or not quarterbacks, let's say players, other players who maybe have a different color of skin, or maybe, you just like the, just, ruffle their feathers a little bit and don't want to give them their money right away, like Dak Prescott, like Zeke Elliott once upon a time, like Emmitt Smith once upon a time. Yeah, your boy knows his history. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing some names out there. But Jerry Jones, the one thing I can say about Jerry Jones, you're consistent. You're persistent. You stick to what you know. You're a bad boy. You built that franchise into one of the most expensive franchises in the world, if not the most expensive franchise in the world. You built a $10 billion franchise, but you haven't been to a Super Bowl in over 30 plus years. You haven't been to an NFC championship game in damn near 25 plus years. You only won 2 playoff games since the last time you've been to the Super Bowl. Jerry Jones, you're the owner and you're the GM. So if you're the owner, Jerry, and you're the GM, and you haven't been to the Super Bowl in almost 30 years, you only have been to an NFC championship game maybe once, if I believe, or actually I think 0 times in those 30 years. You only have won 2 playoff games in those 30 years. What's the common denominator in that, y'all? I'll wait. Anyway, so let's talk about it. Micah Parsons, he's standing on 10 toes. Micah Parsons, he showed up to the start of camp, and essentially him and Jerry Jones had a meeting face to face. And in this meeting, they supposedly agreed to terms to make Micah Parsons one of the highest paid non-quarterbacks in NFL, or the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. Excuse me. So with them doing that and making him the highest paid, or trying to make him one of the highest paid defensive player, non-quarterbacks in NFL history, they made that deal in a meeting where Micah Parsons came into the meeting just expecting them to talk about leadership. Micah Parsons came into that meeting without his agent. Micah Parsons came into that meeting in good faith just to talk to the GM, the owner, and, talk about leadership. But Jerry Jones proceeded to take that meeting and talk to Micah Parsons about the contract to try to make him the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history, supposedly. Micah Parsons, after that meeting, and after him and Jerry supposedly shook hands and agreed on terms, Micah Parsons essentially told Jerry, okay, now talk to my agent, so that way you can sign the paperwork and go from there, right? Right. But what happened? Micah Parsons' agent looked at that contract and he said, oh, no. Micah, whoa. Nah, this ain't it. This is a 360 deal. You know what a 360 deal, y'all? You know what a 360 deal is, y'all? Go ahead, type it in on Google. It's in rap terms. Type in what's a 360 deal, and you'll understand what I'm saying. But essentially, Jerry Jones, he even came out publicly. He talked to Stephen A. Smith about it. He's been on like his little I want to say what is it? He's been on his what's the word I'm looking for? His I want to say TV run, or not publicity run. My goodness, it's at the tip of my tongue. Anyway, he's been on his media run. There we go. He's been on his media run because they're promoting, I don't know if y'all seen it, the Making the Dynasty or whatever the hell it's called on Netflix with the Dallas Cowboys. They've been on the run talking about all that and living their best lives. And Jerry Jones has been going around talking about that and also talking about Micah Parsons and the contract. And Jerry Jones proceeded to say that him and Micah Parsons had a deal, and Micah Parsons tried to bring his agent in, which anybody would do, because that's how business is done, right? If I don't know, so if Mr. Wilson, if he doesn't know how to maybe read the legal obligations sometimes in a contract, ironically enough, right? If he doesn't know how to read, certain things in a contract, that's what you have an agent for. That's why you have a lawyer, right? Right. Jerry Jones knows that. So Jerry Jones, yes, you and Micah Parsons maybe shook on a deal or shook hands on a deal to potentially make him one of the highest paid non-quarterbacks. Yes. But then he wanted his agent to proceed and talk to you about, hey, let's figure out these numbers. Let's make it right. Right. Let's make it make sense. Correct. So Jerry Jones, what's the problem? Why don't you want to talk to Micah Parsons' agent? Why don't you want to get your best defensive player signed? If you really about winning a Super Bowl, if you really about trying to see your team win, why won't you pay that boy Micah and talk to his agent and do business the right way? Why are you trying to talk to a player who doesn't know anything about contracts, whose only job is to play football, whose only job is to go pummel the man in front of him? That's why you have an agent. That's why you have lawyers as NFL players. Some NFL players, don't get me wrong, like Lamar Jackson, like Bobby Wagner. You feel me? Like some of the examples, like Richard Sherman even. They represented themselves because they were very knowledgeable. And they probably had someone else look over the contract as well. And they wanted to not give somebody that 2% or that 5% of that contract that they were going to get. So yes, some NFL players represent themselves, but Micah Parsons is not trying to represent themselves. Michael Parsons has an agent. So Jerry, why are you trying to have a publicity stunt? Why aren't you trying to pay your best player? The Cowboys play next Thursday. That's like in 9-10 days, Jerry. If you was really serious, you would have been paid, my guy. If you really wanted the Super Bowl, you would have been gave him his money. Because now Micah Parsons hasn't practiced all summer. He's had a back injury. Back tight. Hurts. Which is a hell of a play because guess what? When you go to the training room, y'all, just for future references, they can't check your back. Yeah, they can run an MRI, but it's your back. They can't really tell you what's wrong with your back. I'm just throwing it out there for future references. So, Micah, great play. But yeah, Micah Parsons, he got a back injury. He want that contract. He ain't stepping on that field without that contract, without that money. But now, Jerry Jones, with him going online, him going to Stephen A. Smith, him going to all these different outlets and telling them about how he was trying to play Micah Parsons in front of his face and how he's not trying to talk to Micah Parsons' agent after agreeing to a so-called handshake contract with Micah Parsons. Why won't you just do us right, Jerry, and just talk to his agent? But Jerry likes the show. This is why every single year, y'all Dallas Cowboy fans, we winning the Super Bowl this year. We going to make the playoffs. Dak Prescott, the best quarterback in it. This is why y'all Cowboys fans are delusional. And this is why the Eagles next Thursday is going to do what they got to do to y'all. But anyway, Jerry Jones, I believe in this situation, and I hope I explained it in a way that y'all can understand, but I explained it in a way that, hopefully, you do understand it. But if you're not, then you just got to go find another video. But essentially, though, seriously, Jerry Jones, you're wrong, man. Micah Parsons has an agent. Yes, you and Micah Parsons, y'all talked about the contract. Y'all had an agreement. But at the end of the day, Micah Parsons doesn't do the legal stuff. Micah Parsons hired an agent to do a job for a reason. Micah Parsons' number one job is to be healthy and to play and go crazy on that football field. But now you got Micah Parsons with an injured back. Now you got Micah Parsons hasn't played a lick of football all summer. Now you got Micah Parsons sitting here not even wanting to play for the Dallas Cowboys anymore and requesting the trade because you want to play in front of his face and you don't want to talk to his agent. Why? Why make it difficult, Jerry? Jerry, why you always make it difficult with us? And when I say us, some of y'all know what I mean. Call a spade, baby. But yeah. Next Thursday, I just saw somebody put in the comments. Next Thursday, guess what? Yeah, them Eagles, they're going to put BTA, belt to ass. You understand me? So it's cool. Micah Parsons, hey, stand on 10 toes, man. Don't let Jerry play in front of your face. And if I'm you, honestly, I wouldn't even go back and play for the Dallas Cowboys. Because why does Jerry have to do this every single year? You already have the richest franchise in the world. You already get publicity for not doing anything. You haven't won since the 90s. Before I was born. I was born in the 90s, but you feel me? But they won. Anyway. But seriously, though, they haven't won since the 90s, dog. Oh, man, that's crazy. That is crazy. They haven't won since the 90s, man. They haven't won since the 90s. Jerry, don't you think you should maybe switch your routine up? Don't you think you should maybe do right by your best player or best players instead of having Dak Prescott play out his contract, having Zeke Elliott train in Cabo, having Emmitt Smith hold out during camp years ago? Come on, Jerry, it gets old, man. You getting old. And guess what, Jerry? Yeah, I probably won't win another playoff game or make it to another Super Bowl or make it to an NFC champion. Actually, y'all gonna win a playoff game. I really believe the Dallas Cowboys gonna shock some people because they're gonna have a hell of an offense this year. And I really believe Jerry Jones is gonna come through and pay Micah Parsons. But at the end of the day, it don't take all this. It don't. If we're being honest, it doesn't. But Jerry, do what you do. Because in your lifetime, guess what? You're going to be bye-bye next time the Dallas Cowboys actually win. I'm just being honest. And I hope that's not the case. I hope that you are alive. Maybe they'll see the Dallas Cowboys win a championship, but I don't foresee it. If you keep acting the way you acting, Jerry, yeah, it ain't gonna happen. Just like you did with Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson, you ran Jimmy Johnson. The Dallas Cowboys probably could have been the first team to win 3 straight Super Bowls. The Dallas Cowboys probably could have been the first team to have a dynasty, really, before the Patriots, had started their dynasty. The Dallas Cowboys could have been them, you feel me? But Jerry Jones wanted the attention. Jerry Jones drove out the head coach and Jimmy Johnson, who basically built the Dallas Cowboys in the 90s to what they were and why they won 2 straight Super Bowls. He pushed him out because Jerry Jones wanted to be the center of attention. Because Jerry Jones wanted to be the puppet master in front of everybody's face. Jerry. Will you ever learn? Anyway. That's enough about Jerry Jones. I'm getting tired and exhausted from just saying his name. All right, so Micah, I hope they trade you, even though I know they're not. I think they're going to just offer you a big bag. And if I'm you, hey, don't take a 5-year deal. Don't take a 4-year deal. Take like a 3-year or 2-year deal so you up out of there in a couple of years, but you get your guaranteed money. All right, so Micah, get your guaranteed money. Get up out of there in a couple of years, or stand on your 10 toes. You feel me? Stand on business. And just, don't play for him this year and make him trade you. Because Jerry Jones is saying, I own your rights for the next 2 years. Because guess what Jerry Jones really saying? Before I move on off this topic, this is why Jerry Jones standing on business, how he's standing on business, and I respect it. But at the end of the day, Jerry, why? Jerry Jones has Micah Parsons under contract for another 3 years. He has him under contract for this year, and then he can franchise tag him next year and the year after that. So technically, Micah Parsons is on the books for the Cowboys for the next 3 years. And that's the unfortunate thing that happens in the NFL. Because when you sign an NFL contract, guess what? The stupid NFLPA, and that's a whole nother conversation. I'm not trying to even get into all that. I'm not trying to get into all that. But to make a long story short, Micah Parsons is on the books for another 3 years, and Jerry Jones doesn't have to pay him this year. He doesn't have to pay him next year. He doesn't have to pay him the year after that. That's why Jerry Jones kind of standing the way he's standing, because he's like, Micah, I really don't have to pay you. But Micah is on a Hall of Fame trajectory. Micah deserves to be paid. Micah is your best defensive player. So pay him, just like everybody else that gets paid after they perform for 1, 2, 3 years in the league. That's how it goes, man. So yes, Jerry, you have his rights. You own him for the next 2 or 3 years, basically. But why? Jerry, you worth $10+ billion, dog. Pay the man. Or just trade him. Now we moving on. All right. Because I was only trying to make this podcast short today. All right. Now, touching on the last topic of the day, because I do got some other business to attend to. As y'all can see, also, if you don't know, Mr. Wilson is on the move. All right. So anytime you see this backdrop, that just means we're not in the studio. All right. So the studio, when you see the original backdrop that y'all have seen in the last few videos, that's my studio. I also will be streaming on another YouTube channel here soon whenever I'm starting to do. I save all that information for later. But I'm going to be doing some other stuff on another YouTube channel. But also, anytime you see this background, just know I'm on the move. All right, I have my equipment at my studio, and then I have my road equipment. So this is my road equipment. So anytime you see this background, just know Mr. Wilson on the road, he on the move. All right. But anyway, all right, moving on.
Hey, we live now, really.